Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day?
Hello everyone, my name is Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is February 10th, 2026. And Bitcoin, as well as altcoins, are still well on track for a legitimate recovery. This is consider it part 2 of my previous video. Is this bounce legit? This is a question everybody should be asking themselves when looking at these charts. And it's obvious, right? We've got in Bitcoin and in altcoins a trend to the downside, at least locally, right? So let's start with Bitcoin. And you can see this quite clearly, right? Beginning of January, right? Mid-January, you have this trend right here. And you came all the way down, okay? And if you look on the high time frames, just zooming out on the weekly time frame, you can see why we've got an intermittent bounce, an intermediate bounce where we're at right now, because this level of support at 60, currently at 60K, is almost a 5.5 year support level, right? As you can see here. It's not perfect, but you can see that there's a trend of support dating back to February of 2021. Okay? So about 5 years, almost exactly. February of 2021, you saw that this represented a level of support. We came up and bounced off of it to reach 100K, 100 plus K, and we finally come back down to it, okay? I wouldn't say that this is a perfect channel. Obviously, you have a top, you have a bottom, you have a midline. They seem respected. You can count it as such, and that's even more of a reason. That is more of, and I haven't even looked at it in this way to substantiate the move back to 100K, around 105K, I believe. But you can say that that's another reason that move is likely, because again, you came down all the way from the top to the bottom before breaking down. You eventually break down from this. I don't know anybody looking at this that sees bullishness, right? On a high time frame, you're clearly dealing with something that needs to resolve to the downside, okay? And this actually is, on a high time frame, quite bullish, right? You could say from one aspect, it's bearish, right? So locally bearish. On medium time frame, you could say it's bearish, but on a higher time frame, when I say higher time frame, I mean, just looking back all the way back to 21, it's really bullish, because you're looking at a massive bullish reversal pattern here, okay? Massive bullish reversal pattern in which we're located in the right shoulder, in my estimation, right? So I think that this clean and clear move back to the midline and then down is what we're waiting for, and that's the larger move, and I've talked about that before. In any case, this is, I think, the main reason we've got intermediate support at 60, because, right, you're looking at 5 years of support here, but it's not ultimate support. I think that is a very important point. It's not ultimate support. It wasn't ultimate support here, wasn't ultimate support here, wasn't ultimate. If it was ultimate support, it would have served as ultimate support here. It wouldn't have to be tested once, twice, thrice, 4 times, right? This is clearly not ultimate support. So the higher time frame thesis that I've been talking about of Bitcoin eventually going back to this level and then completing its bear market is supported by this analysis, this higher time frame analysis. In any case, I didn't mean to go into the high time frame analysis. I wanted to zoom out just to show you why 60K was a legitimate intermediate level of support. Now, intermediate is very important. It's an intermediate level of support. It's not a complete veritable, like, pure level of support where you can expect higher highs and higher lows and never to have to revisit those areas. This level is only going to serve to move the price temporarily back up after going back, after coming down again. Okay, and so now, actually, let's go back on the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, what am I expecting? I'm expecting a corrective move, right? So corrective waves in Elliott wave analysis, we understand, come in flavors of 3. I think this is going to be no different. It's going to be a flavor of 3, okay? It's going to be a flavor of 3 correction. The real move is going to be to the downside. It was initiated in October of last year. That was, to me, the first leg. This is going to be the second leg. It's going to be counter to the first leg. So this is your break, your counter, and then your final. Okay, so A, B, C, break, counter, final. So I think we're in the middle portion that goes counter to the initial break. So we're expecting some flavor of 3 correction up. And I'm guessing it looks something like this because, right, you're going to probably hit your head on the midline. You're going to probably find support here once more and double bottom. And you're going to probably extend to 78.6% of all of this because, as I said in the previous video, I suspect this is a flat correction, right? And so my minimum retracement must be 78.6%. And then I explained some more reasons in the previous video, but I like that read. I like that read in many, many ways. I mean, look at that right here. You have your ultimate resistance here, and so you would be targeting that. This 786 retracement is confluent at around 103, between 103 and 105 is confluent with the top resistance of this multi-month channel, all that stuff. I like it. I like it. So this is what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. And now on the smaller time frames, on the 4-hourly time frame, right, because this is corrective, please understand that it's very unpredictable. It's very difficult to track. It's very difficult to trace out with a high degree of accuracy how it's going to look, right? The idea that should be really held fast is that, okay, it's going to go up in some way, some flavor of 3. This is my best educated guess on how that's going to happen. And now, when, the other part of it is, now, is this the move that's going to, be the initial break for that mid counter correction, that B wave, if you will? Maybe, right? It looks as good as any. And if that's the case, then there's no reason we can't just continue like this. There's no reason. There's no technical basis to invalidate a continuation of this up here. There is none. Nothing needs to be done. There are no you need to form proper support. No, nothing. You can do however you like, right? And because this is likely a flat correction, You can even come right back down and do it like that. So it's tough to say here with Bitcoin if this is just going to continue up or if it's going to move down. My best guess, if I throw on my stochastic RSI momentum indicator on the hourly time frame. Okay, my best guess, looking at this and looking at the rest of the market, because I'm also considering what altcoins are looking like, is I think that this is a legitimate wick down into support, and that propels the price up a bit more, and you may see this break up rather than break down. And if it does break down, I don't know that it breaks down any more than the 63,000 region, right? If it does break down, maybe it comes back down here to the golden pocket before continuing. That's what I'm seeing. It's my best guess. But again, it's very hard to say because this, on the high time frame, more likely than not, part of a larger corrective pattern. So it's very difficult to say. In any case, we have the high time frame map, the high time frame read, high time frame plan, and now we have that in mind. Look at what altcoins are doing. Altcoins are different because altcoins in the aggregate, as per my best thesis, they're bullish. They're really bullish. And so we're expecting this right here, this wick to be true, right? I don't think that, okay, I'll say this. At this point in time, since the previous video, we know that this right here is very likely not pure impulse. Not yet. Okay, and how do we know that? Well, we know in pure impulse, wave 1 and wave 2 are temporally symmetrical, meaning if you go up for a certain amount of time, your first retracement, your wave 2 retracement takes around the same amount of time, comes down to 50 to 61.8% of the first move, and then continues. We haven't gotten that yet. And so I don't think that this is pure impulse, though I do believe that it is a corrective impulse. And at this point in time, I think it's going to look like the following. I've traced my best guess of what altcoins look like in the immediate short term with this dotted line. Okay, and the reason I think that is because I think that this is a zigzag. You hit your head on the resistance of, remember what this is. Let me go on the daily time frame. So this, remember, was an 80-day channel, okay? It was an 80-day falling wedge. You broke out of it, and I thought this was the retest and then the breakout. It failed all the way back down to the bottom of the channel, and now we've bounced from the bottom of the channel, hit our head on the 80-day resistance, the top resistance of the falling wedge, okay? And so I think naturally what happens, let's go back down to the 4-hourly. Naturally what happens is you now reject from that and come back down to the next logical support, which is the midline, which is exactly what you need to do in any case to beat or to break a channel. Channels have to be broken from the midline. I've said that millions of times. I've never seen any channel not break from the midline. And so it comes down to I know some people are wondering, like, okay, if you know that, then how do you not know exactly when the channel is going to break? This is a good question. Look at this. Remember what happened here? Was that a sufficient midline retest or not? That is the question. That's the difficulty in making these reads. Not that you don't recognize that the midline needs to be retested, you don't have an accurate midline. It's that if the midline is tested, is that the retest? Because apparently this wasn't a sufficient retest. I thought it was. Apparently not, right? I thought this was a sufficient midline retest. You come, you test the top, you're finished. Apparently not, because we came right back down to the bottom of the channel, and now I'm expecting a more substantive midline retest that will actually be the midline retest. Okay, so let's go back to that. That is subtle but extremely important, because it goes back to the idea that you can know what you're looking at and identify things properly and still be off. It really underscores the complexity of technical analysis. There's so many unknown unknowns and known unknowns. Shout out to Donald Rumsfeld. Don't agree with his politics, but that line was a banger. In any case, you come down to the midline, I think, and you adequately retest it. And in doing so, you put in 1 degree of AB basing, a zigzag, 2 degrees of AB basing, a flat correction, 3 degrees of AB basing, another zigzag, and here you should get your start of alt season at this point, at this final level. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is 2 things. I'm playing out the requisite moves needed to break a channel. Channels have to break, bullish channels have to break from testing the bottom support, hitting your head on resistance, retesting the midline, breaking out from the midline, retesting the top resistance as support. Those 3 things are absolutely necessary. And the second thing I'm doing is completing a proper AB base sequence, right, for a reversal. So the reversal would be after, this right here, this drawdown, this impulse to the downside. Now you need to put in a reversal, 2 degrees of AB basing, and a pivot. Okay, that's a reversal pattern. That's reaccumulating buyers after a drawdown. Okay, and what I like about this read, once again, and I've said this time and time again, is when you look back, you're going to, in some way, shape, or form, identify on a higher time frame a bullish reversal pattern. It always happens. So in this case, it's going to look, you guessed it, like an inverse head and shoulders bullish reversal pattern. Okay? Where you have your head, your left shoulder, and your right shoulder. Okay? This is what I'm seeing in altcoins. So if this is true, we come down slightly in altcoins. We base here. This is prime buying in this trade thesis, in this trade plan. This is the best buy. And then this is the initial breakout, but then this is still corrective. This is the second best buying opportunity. And then there are no more buying opportunities, because that, if it's true, it goes and there's no time to buy. Okay? Until much higher levels. So that's what I'm seeing with altcoins. Okay? So jury's still out. As with every trade plan, you make your best guess based off of all of the data, all of the information that you have at your disposal, and you wait and see. Okay? Now, last but not least, let's look at Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is telling us that this is likely. What's likely? let me speak more clearly. Bitcoin dominance is telling us that a strong altcoin move is very likely. And by strong altcoin move, I'm saying a move that where altcoins beat out Bitcoin substantially is very likely. Look at the past 60 days, right? So this is about more or less 60 days of price action, right? You just went up and down and up and down and up and down. Up and down. This is a channel. This is a channel. It has a top resistance, a bottom support, a midline, heart line, a midline, right? So what you've been doing for the past 60 days since November is going up and down in this channel, right? There's clear resistance here. We talked about it, and Bitcoin dominance rejected quite I don't want confidently is not the word, but quite clearly, deterministically from that top resistance. So you boom, right? This is for my there will be no alt season crowd. It's not looking good for that thesis. It just doesn't make sense. Look, when you say there will be no alt season, square that with any decent basic read of this Bitcoin dominance chart. I dare you. Right? It's getting really bleak. Obviously, when it happens, oh yeah, I knew it was gonna happen. No. Speak now. Speak right now, because this is, we've been kind of going up and down, not really making any clear, determined. People have been arguing about nothing, right? Oh, you're right. Oh, you're wrong. Nothing's happened. We've been going sideways forever. A little down move here, a little up move there, a little down move there. Nothing's happened. This is a separator. This move is a separator from people calling for no alt season, have no clue what the hell is going on. Either they've never seen this Bitcoin dominance chart, and it's not just reserved to this Bitcoin dominance chart, because the analysis is really clear on so many metrics. You must have your head in the sand or have no idea what you're talking about to say there's no alt season coming. It's really effing clear. It's like, every weatherman in the world that has any skill whatsoever is calling for the storm. Now, the debates on whether, you're going to get this many inches or that many inches, if it's going to turn to sleet or hail, or, if it's going to, create icy conditions, how many days the kids are going to get out of school. Go ahead. That is where the debate should be. Not on whether we're going to get a storm or not. If you're saying there's no alt season, that crowd is going to look very silly very soon. And it's not about being right or wrong. It's just like, there has to be a certain modicum of, all right, this is a baseline of, all right, what are you reading? What are you looking at? Like, this isn't, we're not guessing and pulling stuff out of our asses. Like, I know some people think that, but there's clear signs and signals. I'm not even going to bother going on to the really high time frame analysis of this chart. But again, if you can't see the alt season coming on the Bitcoin dominance chart, then you don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to say that. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to be, sort of pretentious, but it's really, really, really obvious. Okay. Now on the small time frame, the discussion is, when is it coming? How is it coming? Past 60 days, we've had this channel. You've been going up and down in the channel. Most recently, you got this rejection, right? And I talked about that. At the same time Bitcoin was going down, Bitcoin dominance was going down, right? That's a prelude to that alt season that, we talk about, because you don't get Bitcoin dominance going down unless you're going into alt season. And after that, what happened? Well, we pop up back at the midline. I just talked about this. I've been talking about this for years on this channel. It's a principle. Principles are, universally applicable. So you're looking at any channel. Any channel has a resistance, a midline, and a support level. And to break the channel, you always need to break it from the midline. Here is the midline retest that we've discussed. And here it's looking really promising for a rejection at the midline, because as you can see, you're forming on the smaller time frame a bullish or bearish reversal pattern, a rounded top, right? Extremities are typically rounded at the midline. So when you're looking at Bitcoin dominance on the small time, I'm not even talking about the high time frame. High time frame is very, very straightforward. You can look at that on your own time. It's just the Bitcoin dominance chart. But I'm talking about small time frame. We're looking extremely promising for a big altcoin breakout, because this Bitcoin dominance chart comes down. And if the Bitcoin dominance chart comes down, that means Bitcoin's losing out to altcoins in market cap dominance, right? That means alt season. That means big moves in altcoins. That means big bonuses from all these scammy exchanges trying to take your money. That means, everybody's into crypto, scammers, and, regular people, your grandma, your aunt, all that stuff, because things are flying and pumping left and right. All right, so that's what I'm seeing. Guys, hope this was helpful, useful. Like, share, and subscribe if you got value. Consider joining my crypto portfolio mentorship and consultation service, where you can sign up to that using the pinned comment below. Buy me a coffee link. That's basically mentorship for up to 5 assets, your entire portfolio. You have 24/7 access to me through email, up to 2 hours, video chat or video conference per month, and just levels. We identify specific levels for all these assets that you're trading to see, okay, where can we buy, where can we sell to maximize profits once the bull market starts hitting targets. So that's crypto portfolio mentorship and consultation. If you're only interested on my take on a specific asset, on a specific indicator, on a specific commodity, that single asset analysis, price is 165. The turnaround is within 24 hours. All you have to do is follow the instructions, order it, email me, send proof of the payment, and tell me what you want me to analyze. I analyze it, I send it back to you within 24 hours. And then you can follow up with any questions. Last but not least, I have exchange partners, Week, Spotify. You can sign up to them and get promos, bonuses from them using my referral link. And just remember, those referral links are for, exchanges that primarily promote leverage trading. You can spot trade on them, but primarily where they make their money is by getting you to leverage trade. So be extremely careful. It's like going in a casino. You have to kind of know it's a casino, and they typically win. So either you just go for a good time and you have X amount of money to lose, or you know what the hell you're doing and you're Jason Bourne, or not Jason Bourne, you're George Clooney and you're Ocean's 11, and you really know what you're doing. Or you're someone in between, you know how to play and you're feeling lucky. In any case, you don't go to the casino to make income, right? It's just something you do on the side. It's part of a larger strategy to make it in crypto. So please keep that in mind. That's it for me, guys. Take care. Bye.
Prevalent time slot, I vocalize, too deep to localize, even when I'm right on the surface. You act surprised how I work this, but I can't lie. Many a good alibi, I'll catch you later. Visions are vividly enhanced with emphasis and amethyst to develop morale advantages which help us manifest magnanimous. We body vitals like evangelists. So listen when you're dealing with people who be revealing premonitions with precision. At least that's what I'm aiming at for now. I speak the language of the world, meandering throughout the crowd. Used to feel safe to say anything, but now it's a risk. It's hard for me to let go when all I can do is reminisce. Gone like the wind, here's where I begin. Should I smile or should I grin what's happening? Gone like the wind.